I'm joined on the phone by Danny Patrick. And Danny, it's so lovely to have you with me this morning.
It's wonderful to be here, Krys.
Very lovely to have you with me too. Now, tell me about your film. It's all very exciting. It's called The Best Years, and it's going to be premiering here and at the Harlequinn Theatre in Redhill.
Yes, it is. We were very lucky that the wonderful Elizabeth Smith and her team liked the movie, and they agreed to show it for us. So we're going to be opening this Friday, and there's tickets available if people want to come along. We should have some of the stars coming along. We're still working on Martin Kemp, who stars for us, and Matt Healy and Mark Pickering. So hopefully they will be there on the Friday. And of course we're available to the public as well on Saturday and Sunday also. That's next week.
Oh, that's going to be superb. Now tell me a little bit about it, because obviously you hail from Derry. You live in Reigate now, but you lived in Derry, didn't you? Is
That's
this where
correct.
The idea came from? Because tell me a little bit about the film.
Well, the film started off as a study piece on how when peace came to Northern Ireland, it didn't really suit everybody that was in there. But what happened through the scripting process and getting the actors on board, actors like Anne Reichel from Grey's Anatomy and Mark Pickering, it just became kind of funny and almost, some certain black humour in there. And previews that we've had of the movie have been hysterical in certain places. I didn't actually realise how funny Irish people were.
Oh, bless you.
It clearly comes across that way brilliantly on the film. So, the actors really pulled it out, knocked it out of the park for me.
Yeah, oh, that's superb. Going back to that little bit, we went to Ireland a few years ago, to Southern Ireland. Oh, it's absolutely stunningly beautiful. But do you know what I love? All the little Irish blessings everywhere. It's so innocent. There's an innocence behind it.
It's an amazing country. The only problem is filming in Ireland is a complete nightmare. I mean, we have 5 shades of green in Ireland, and that's because it rains all of the time. And the weather is a little bipolar. It'd be raining the first 5 minutes, then the sun would be out, and then be overcast, and then be raining again. I think we even had snow in April at one point. It was just... And, we managed to get through it because what we did, the fact that I live here in Reigate, was we filmed the exteriors in Derry, so whenever you see the streets, it's Derry. And then when we, all the interior, quite a few of the interiors are here in Reigate and Redhill, places like the Razor Room and Doneen's and St Mary Magdalene Church, and of course the Old Oak Pub over here in Reigate, who were incredibly brilliant with us, as all the businesses who, allowed us to come there and film. I doubt very few of them will allow another film crew to come into their place, but we got the shots we needed, Krys, which was important.
Forget the future, Danny. Exactly. Oh, bless you.
I just have to make sure when I write the next one, I don't have things like pubs or barber shops or, those sort of things. I just won't have access to those areas again.
What's left?
Exactly.
Exactly.
I mean, a film crew is quite invasive, because it's the volume of equipment we have to bring, and I don't think anyone was ready, especially probably the Old Oak, when they saw 2 large lorries pull up and all these crew, and I imagine they thought I was going to be there with a video camera and maybe a couple of lights, but
it's a massive thing, isn't it? I know I work in film and telly as well, and it's just unbelievable the amount of equipment that has to be carted around. You have to take over the whole place, don't you?
Absolutely, and like most things, we had a limited budget, so we managed to get the most out of it. So on a few occasions, we were shooting day for night. We had huge lights shining in windows, making the shot look like it was during the daytime when the reality was night.
Yeah.
And that took a huge amount of equipment. But ultimately, we had to get our shots, Krys. Most people, we have a schedule and we have a budget, and our investors are waiting for us to, they believe in the movie, but at the same time, there's certain aspects of business within that. So, we tried to keep very much to the budget and schedule. And we had a great time doing it. I think, I can't recommend enough to people who are listening to this is if they have an idea for a movie or anything, a play, or just go and do it. You know, there's enough digital equipment out there. You don't need the lorry loads of equipment that we use, but you know, if you go out there with a video camera, and most home computer systems now will allow you to edit them and even do some amazing special effects.
Oh, truly. Absolutely.
So, you know, if you have a dream and you have a vision, get it out. You know, the amount of people that come to screenings of mine and probably will be next week, you know, say, I know I have a great idea for a movie. And I was, well, you know, I have my own ideas. You write yours down and do it yourself, because it's available there, and it's not some untouchable Hollywood type dream that you can't jump on the bandwagon with.
Yeah, you've got to make it happen, haven't you? You know, I think people are reluctant to do that. They think somebody else has got a level of expertise which is alien to them or something like that. It's only those people with that level of expertise who actually can do things, and they don't have enough confidence perhaps in their abilities or something like that. And it's all right having an idea, but if you don't take it forwards, it doesn't necessarily come to anything. And you are very good at that, because where did all this start? Because you've been doing a lot of writing and film work for quite some time, haven't you?
Well, I have. I mean, 20 years I've been at this. I mean, my agent would much prefer me that I didn't do movies at all, that I just worked on other people's scripts, because, you know, I've doctored a few scripts because I'm told that I've got a great ear for dialogue. So, you know, I get a script and I have to spruce up the dialogue and make it interesting. And my agent would much prefer that I do that, because that's incredibly lucrative. Whereas making movies is not. It's a labour of love, and you have to really love doing it.
Truly.
Oh, because there are times when, you know, it is difficult and you have to just stick by it.
Yeah, truly. And there's some very, very monotonous moments as well, aren't there? And frustrating moments.
Of course, you know, my family and friends never come to my sets anymore because they're just bored. They say, I know it's just you shuffling around lights with a bunch of crew people. And that's, you know, you have to really love that part of it as well, because, you know, you've three stages. You have the writing stage, you have the shooting stage, which I love because it's incredibly sociable, and, you know, you get to spend a lot of time with the cast and the crew. And then the editing stage, where, you know, you have three different versions of that same movie that you do. I'm reluctant to use the word film, because that's a difficult Irish word for us to say properly. So I'll keep referring to it as a movie instead of a film, which is difficult. But I mean, one of the things that we really found, I mean, you know, the cooperation we got from the locations that we shot at, you know, the Old Oak, the Cage in Reigate, the Razor Room, Donnings, and even the Red Hill Kebab House makes its feature debut.
Fantastic.
But most of all, I can't say enough about Elizabeth Smith and her team in the Harlequinn cinema and their, you know, understanding and their, you know, endeavour to actually get this movie played at their cinema. It wasn't as straightforward as them just saying, all right, I know, you know, give us the master file and we'll play it. It took a little bit of work behind the scenes, especially from Elizabeth and her team, you know, to allow this movie to be shown at the Harlequinn. So we're incredibly excited and of course, incredibly grateful.
Oh, absolutely. What's going to happen after the premiere?
Well, it's a funny thing, because our business is changing. Normally, the route would be, you'd have a little limited cinema run, and then it would go straight to DVD, and then probably downloads and terrestrial television. But our business is changing very much. You know, when you ask someone, when was the last time you bought a CD, you know, they just look at you blankly, because it's some time, and our industry is going through the same thing with digital versatile discs and Blu-ray, in that people just use Netflix now, or they download it from Sky, so our business is changing. So we're still negotiating to bring out a DVD and Blu-ray just before Christmas, but it's more than likely the easiest option will be a video on demand, such as Netflix or Amazon on demand, and then most likely then end up on normal television, whoever probably gives us the better deal. But the days of making money, I mean, it's much like when people talk about owning the football club. You're in it because you want to, you love football, not because you want to make money. And it's the exact same as the film industry, especially at the level that I operate at. You know, I want to make good, low-budget movies so that I can get a decent return for the people who believe in me and put the money into these things. But at the same time, you know, we're providing incredible entertainment. You know, some of the previews that we had of the best year so far, you know, we got a lot of great write-ups in newspapers, and you know, the some of the press who managed to see it beforehand. They understood what we were trying to do, and basically, we spent a lot of time with the characters. So it's an incredibly fun day out for any of your listeners that want to log on to the Harlequinn website and get themselves some tickets for the best years. Oh,
brilliant. Do you have the Harlequinn website to hand at the moment? Don't worry if you don't, because I can Google it and give it out very, very shortly.
That'd be wonderful. It's quite long, but it is hard. And also, I'm a little worried about, because I don't have spell checker here to help me, Krys, which I've become so reliant on in my life. It's just,
It's frightening, isn't it? I know exactly what you mean. It really is. It's just seriously worrying. Oh, don't you worry about that. I will Google it immediately. In fact, I'll be doing it now. But so, a final message then.
Okay. The final message to your listeners: come along, book a ticket, have a wonderful night. An hour and a half of fun. Spend a bit of time with my cast in a town that you probably have never seen before, or a town that you might want to visit. It's Ireland, like you say, a lot of people go to the south, but the north is incredibly beautiful as well. And Derry's a great town to visit. I mean, tourist numbers seem to be going through the roof. It was City of Culture last year.
Yes.
It has amazing tourist day walks. And of course, it has a troubled past, which it makes very interesting when you're doing those tours and walks around Derry. But again, solid entertainment, very, very funny people, and some incredible cast and crew members who just want to make a nice bit of entertainment for a night out next weekend.
And I think it's going to be absolutely cracking, Danny. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk with you, and we'll keep in touch, and, hopefully I'll be along as well.
I appreciate that, Krys. Thank you so much for your time.
It's my absolute pleasure, and you have a brilliant time, and I'll catch up with you again very, very soon, Danny, and thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today.
You're welcome, Krys. Take care.
Take care for now, Danny. Bye for now. I'm going to get this one on for you, by the way. The Jacksons, and Can You Feel It? Do you like it?
I love the Jacksons.
Cool.
Anything but the Jackson 5 is wonderful.
Oh, I absolutely agree with you. Well, I'll tell you what, Danny, this plays especially for you, to wish you all the very best of luck for Friday, Saturday and Sunday.
Thank you, Krys.
Right, you're very welcome. Take care for now then. Right, bye.
Bye.
Bye. The Jacksons, and Can You Feel It? And that played especially for Danny Patrick, with whom I've just been having a jolly good chat, and his film The Best Years is premiering at the Harlequinn Theatre this Friday, Saturday and Sunday, so make sure you book your tickets and be there. It's going to be absolutely fantastic.